Excellent connection. Nice. Alright, just give me a second. Let me try to figure out how to share this. There we go. Okay. I am live. You are probably not here anymore. Okay, so basically I'm going to go and edit a session I did last week and just answer any questions that you may have. I'm trying out my new setup. I got my Canon 5D Mark IV sitting here, streaming me through my laptop. It only took me about 2 hours to get that set up. I had to update the firmware on my camera, reinstall some third-party software, and format cards. I had to do all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of wiped out. So I'm probably not going to get to all the in-depth content that y'all asked for tonight. I just wanted to get online and stream a little. Yeah, let me get these things from my friend Matt. Okay. All right. If anyone's watching, go ahead and pop in and say hey. I am going to get to the editing here. If there's anything you want to know while you're watching, just let me know. But I'm pretty much just going to edit and kind of talk through what I do. I'm going to try to get on tomorrow if I can, and talk more about cameras and stuff like that. But I'm not even going to share this with my Facebook stream. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, well, here we go. Hopefully my computer can hang. Can you hang, computer? Oh boy. All right, well, hopefully Matt tunes in and he can tell me. Let's see here. Matt, I don't know if you're watching. Maybe a little bit. But did you want the contrasty version or just this version? I'm guessing the contrasty version. What? Oh yeah, okay. Guessing contrasty. Let's figure it out. Check out my cool one. Okay, so let me add some contrast. We'll get back to that. Actually, maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Okay. Organization is very important. Let's see, I got my raw images now. Where did I put you? This is where I put you. Portraits, sex. Oh, did I not? Did I put those? I'm just gonna make a new one, brother. Sorry. Wasting all y'all's time. I don't know what I did with the file that I sent you. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just redo what I did and find them color codes here. Pretty sure I just cranked it. Cranked the contrast like so. Right, now you can see. Let's see here. Eyedropper tool, sample. Let's get a little average going. That's not right. I want to sample all the layers. I want this fiery red here. So that fiery orange is this code. All right, come on, computer. This code right here. So number 1 is D64E1C. Hashtag D64. current viewer. Jesus, I don't know. Okay, so what other color code did you want? Save, I guess. Orange. That seems like a nice orange. I don't want to leave this open, so bye-bye. Don't save. Here we go. All right, let's figure out this session. So I just finished this session. This is my friend Matt. Hopefully he's watching. Whatevs. He had me do a photo shoot for his website, for all that stuff for him. And today I wrote a blog post about branding and how to get the brand. So he's working on setting up his website, setting up the color codes. His beautiful wife made that logo for him that you just saw, and I was helping him get some color codes out of that logo. So I used a 5x5 sample area, used the eyedropper tool, so it took the average of a specific color, because she used gradients, which is beautiful. I just want to get that average, and that's the code. So here we go. I'm going to get to editing some graduation photos. Feel free to chime in if you have any questions. This is a shoot I did for my friend Shelby after she graduated with her master's. And we did it at Cromwell's Beach in downtown, kind of near Hawaii Kai on Oahu. So I have already sorted these images and edited a few, which is a fun process. Go through 288 photos and picked 53 of them. So yeah, let me go ahead and shoot this out to a few people. Yeah, share. What is happening? Oh, y'all can see my messages. Let's get that out of there. Silly. Make sure we're okay. If one of the data broke off us, if you're saying you were going on to. Sorry, personal business here. Oh yeah, my computer cannot hang if messages are open, so let's go ahead and quit that. Let's see what my friend Matt sent me. Oh, ooh. Did I just close that? Man, I'm gonna have to get my phone, aren't I? This whole idea is great. The whole live streaming editing thing. It's a great idea. I want to teach and I want to give, but I just get too distracted trying to talk and entertain. So I don't know. Maybe it won't happen. But it's really fun to sort of set everything up. I got some nice blue splash lights in the background. I've got my nice camera here. I'm gonna work in a microphone. So if anyone's watching and is listening, let me know how it sounds. Like, is there not enough of me? Is it too loud, staticky, quality's bad, too much music? Please let me know. That'll be very helpful. I'm gonna try to edit a little bit. Let's see here. I also say like really ridiculous stuff when I'm editing, so I'm trying to keep that under wraps. But hey, right now I'm working in Adobe Lightroom, which is a partner of Photoshop, just a cataloging software essentially with basic raw photo editing, non-destructive raw photo editing. I do 96% of all of my editing work in this software. Occasionally I'll take a photo into Photoshop. Actually, let's do that. That sounds fun. Okay, so here is a photo. Oh, this one's already done. Here is a photo that I took of Shelby walking down this road here near Cromwell's, and it's an awesome photo. This is completely unedited, by the way. It's a good photo, I think. It's a great idea, but you've got this trash can here. You got this. Stop it, Elle. You got this railing, the sign, this light post. So what I would do is I would touch this up so all the colors are the way that I want them, and everything pops the way, and then I would take it into Photoshop, and I would get rid of all that crap. You can technically do it in the software. You can do spot removal in the software, but it's very limiting. In Photoshop, there are like 100 different ways to do anything, which sounds complicated, but every single way of doing something has its pluses and minuses, right? So you want to combine all the millions of ways. So let me just show you here. Yes, I am now. I am seeing your texts. My biggest fan. Okay, well, let me see here. A lot of editing is copying and pasting too. So, also have this light right here that is blinding me. So it's kind of, I have to like, probably not make too many crazy edits because my eyes are all effed up and I can't really see. So, okay, here we go. Tring, tring. Need some water. Okay. I'm just going to copy the effects that I already made by pressing Command C. Copy them. Let's bring them over here to this unedited photo. Oh, I guess it is edited. I suck. This one's unedited. Okay, let's go to this one. Interesting. Bring that down a little bit. So, as you can see, the sky is kind of blown out around yonder. Check this out, actually. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, made that Lightroom a little bigger. Now you can't see my stupid face. Yeah, as you can see, the sky is a little blown out, so I'm going to take a gradient filter, or a graduated filter, which basically applies these settings here over a graduated, I don't know, you'll see here. You just click and drag, and it's affecting the top portion, right? And it just kind of blends it in, so I want to see more sky. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit more detail up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and drag some highlights down, try to get some more clouds. Maybe I don't want that contrast. And the cool thing is you can come down here and have this gradient or graduated filter affect only certain brightness areas. So I want it to only affect the sky and not the trees. So I'm just gonna do that number. And now it brought the trees back up but left the sky down. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I think so. That's cool. My computer, I'm not sure if it can handle all this nonsense. Let me close some of the programs here. Oh, and also let me bring back my face here. There we go. Hey, sorry. I get insecure. You know? Let's come back up here. I want that road nice and dark. You know? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Keep coming down. Keep coming down. It's like gonna be a black road. Yeah, bring it on down. Bring it on down. Boop. So I'm going to try to bring this photo into Photoshop. And we'll see if my little baby computer can handle it. Uh-oh, what's it saying? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as much as we will experience buffering. Oh, y'all are going to experience buffering. Sucks to suck, you know? Aloha! How can I reply? Aloha! Thanks for stopping by. Okay, here we go. My edits could be completely off, but that's okay. Maybe I should stop streaming music too if I'm trying to stream video. Because how is the quality? Is anyone watching and wants to? It's buffering just a little. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is unfortunate, and I don't know why. Maybe it just needs to catch up. Maybe I can actually. I might be able to change the buffer speed here. Well, maybe for next time. You know, when I start covering like legit stuff, I will maybe drop down the quality a little bit. Hopefully it stops here pretty soon. I'm gonna stop streaming music. Stop that. What else can I do? Oh, I'll turn off some Wi-Fi here. It also could be the fact that my little baby computer can't handle all this. Probably. Okay, so what's cool about this software? You ready? This is Adobe Lightroom. What's cool is it's just completely integrated with Photoshop. So I just right-click on the image, go down to Edit, Edit in Photoshop, and all the edits that I do in Photoshop, once I hit Save, pop right back into Lightroom, as you will see. So, turn off some Wi-Fi's. Wi-Fi, bye-bye. Bye-bye Wi-Fi. Just got a whistle. Whistle doesn't take any Wi-Fi. Hey, this is all of the projects that I work on. Some silly, some not. Okay, so you come into Photoshop. Here you go. Now this is a layers-based destructive editing software. Layers-based destructive. Destructive basically means that every layer you touch is now essentially destroyed. Like, so you want to protect yourself by making copies of layers, right? So I go in here, highlight this layer, background layer, press Command J. You can right click and duplicate with that. Just make a copy of the layer, right? So you have the original down here untouched. Safe. All right. That is safe. So now we're going to come up here and edit this layer. The one that we want to F with. Okay, so my goal in this shot for today is to get rid of all this crap down here. This railing, this sign, this trash can, this bunch of stuff. I'm going to come up here and get rid of this light post. Good to know. I am cursed because I whistle all the time at night. Apparently that is a bad omen here in Hawaii. Very interesting. And I don't know what I just did. I guess I just used a paintbrush. Didn't mean to do that. We're coming in here, zooming in. My little baby computer does not want to play. This is a problem. Knowing me, I am going to just buy a new computer. Oh yeah. Okay. Command, Option, drag. My favorite feature. So if you are on a Mac, which I hope you are in any sort of brush and you want to change the size or the hardness, or the opacity or whatever, you hold Control and Option, not Command and Option. Control and Option, and click and drag. Left to right is the size. Up and down is the hardness. And that is the feature. The single feature I use the most in Photoshop. Shortcut, single shortcut. So right now I'm in the spot healing brush. And this is just sort of like artificial intelligence. That you just kind of paint spots that you want to go away. I want that to go away. Let's see what it does. Kind of works, right? So I start here because it requires the least amount of work on my part. And if it fails, then I go into a different method of object replacement. But especially when the background is very bokeh or blurry and consistent, the human eye isn't even going to see these lines. I see them now, but when I zoom out, I'm probably not going to even notice them. It's just going to look like waves and water and stuff. Yeah. All right, the question at hand is, what kind of images do you enjoy editing the most? Landscapes, humans, a bit of both? Oh man, enjoy editing. I got into photography because I loved Photoshop. And so I started in Photoshop in about 2008, 2007. Photoshop Elements, my sister had a copy, I picked it up. I was doing like a little bit of graphic design, teaching myself web design, and like just trying to get into art through Photoshop. And I realized that I needed some more content, so I was like, well, I'll pick up photography so I can take pictures that I can edit. Like, so I can go into detail and like do some crazy fun edits and learn more that way. And as I grew as a photographer, what's the opposite of grew? Shrank. I stopped loving editing as much, but I'd say all those different types of photos, landscape, humans, both, pretty much every type of photo has different editing that you want to do, right? Like if you take a landscape shot, you might do some sky replacements, or you might do some HDR processing, or you might have to get out little things in the picture, and it also depends on your goal, I guess, your intention for the picture. If you want it to be dreamy, if you want it to be surreal and like fantasy-like, you will combine a lot of pictures, like take a few pictures of mountains or something, and then combine them with a cityscape, have the cityscape hopping over the mountains, have a forest in front of the mountains, and you're just using a bunch of pictures and combining them. I am really bad at that. I don't have that artistic vision. I would love to have that artistic vision, but I currently do not. So right now, I'd say I don't like editing. What kind of pictures do I like to edit right now? None. I just want to get the best product out of the camera and do some cool color corrections in Lightroom and just call it a day. But editing people is fun because I don't like to make them look more beautiful than they are, but I like to kind of play off their insecurities or show them that they don't have to be as insecure as they think they do. Like if you're insecure about your fat face or something like that, there's an angle that you look great at or whatever, and then editing them. I don't know, you can tuck chins. I don't do it a lot, but they say the camera adds 15 pounds, right? So why not use Photoshop to take off 15 pounds? That's my philosophy. I don't want to make you look unrealistically skinny, but the tools to edit faces and make them look skinnier are very easy and very powerful. I like doing this kind of editing though. Until I said fat face. Hey, that's my insecurity. Who knows? Ugh. Okay. How are we looking here? Got rid of a railing. Ooh, that's a little drastic. Think anyone will notice? Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and touch that up. Also, huge props to my computer. It is killing it. Got Photoshop open. I got Lightroom open. Great. Okay, I'm just gonna go over this line here. Try to make it look like less of a line. Let's see like little contrasty spots right here. My computer is whistling. And I will not whistle, even though I would love to do that right now. Snarky Puppy, man, that is a great band. Go check out Snarky Puppy. Feel like jazz fusion. It's my go-to editing. My go-to editing music. Because there's just very rarely any words. It's just jazz. It's very easy listening, and it pumps me the F up. I have my YouTube open right now, and it says excellent connection, which is very exciting to me. So hopefully if there are any connection errors, that they're on your part. For a while there, it was saying buffering, but now it is saying excellent connection. So also, get into Photoshop, because look at this tool. Like this tool, all you have to do is like click, and it just gets rid of stuff. So like zits, gone. It just uses this software to sample outside pixels and just kind of, I don't know. It's genius. It's the most revolutionary photo tool ever. So I'm just gonna casually get rid of a lamppost. It's not a big deal. Who puts a lamppost on a beachscape anyways? Like, stop it. We don't need light. Am I right? Like, safety? Computer. So that must have been it. It must have been the streaming Snarky Puppy that caused the buffering errors. I also turned off the Wi-Fi on my iPad. Maybe that was it. Maybe I'll turn it off on my phone too, and then stream some more Snarky Puppy. Come back, Snarky. Thank you both for watching. Love y'all. Bye, Wi-Fi. My camera is like hidden really far back, so I forget it's over there. I think it's like right in front of me, so y'all are catching the side view, and I'm sorry about it. If my computer were faster, I'd be done by now. Just a little photoshopping, not a big deal. I might splice this video up later and like post highlights if I talk about anything cool. I don't know. I'm trying to beef up my channel. I appreciate all the feedback so far. How does the voice sound? Can you hear me? Especially with Snarky Puppy playing in the background. I was thinking of getting a fancy mic. I actually did get a fancy mic and thought it wasn't worth it, so I returned it, which is why I had to go to Best Buy yesterday. But it might be nice to have like a little clip-on mic or something. If it sounds good, then yeah, that sounds great. I think I have a compressor on it. I might. Sure. Okay. I'm just gonna do a rough edit. I can come back and do more later. let's get on with our lives. Whistling again. I'm a Hawaii sinner. So many things about me are wrong. Forgot I gotta get rid of this guy. So let's go into a different tool that is called the patch tool. So we have bigger objects you want to get rid of. Just take this little patch tool, just draw roughly around it. It's going to create a little marching ant thing. And you just take this and drag it to an area you want it to look like. So I want it to look like this area. And it uses a little bit of that content aware tool we were just using. And just kind of guesstimates what it should look like. You can see the pattern repeating, but ain't no one looking over here at these bushes. Plus, patterns repeat all the time in nature. So no one will even notice that I just took that thing out, right? Whee! I gotta get rid of this trash can, but I'm not sure. My dream photography destination. See, this is what makes me realize I love taking pictures of people, but I love taking pictures of people that are not paying attention to me, if that makes sense. So, like live events, concerts, birthday parties, whatever. Lifestyle, you're out with your family, you're enjoying yourself, and I'm hiding in a bush somewhere taking pictures of you, and those organic moments that you have with your family are now captured, and you didn't even know, because when you point a camera at somebody and they see the camera, there's just an inherent pressure to perform for the camera, smile, or be somebody that you think you want to be, you think the internet wants you to be, right? Smiling or all those cute little like fake laughing girls looking down at their feet laughing, or whatever. Like you're not actually who you are. You're just trying to. I don't like that. I don't like people feeling pressure to be something that they're not, or whatever. So yeah, I'm rambling. Sorry, I'm trying to think about editing too. But my ideal photography destination would be just traveling the world with somebody and taking pictures of them traveling the world, preferably paid. Go on tour with a band or follow a politician, or something like that would be cool. And then let them pick where I get to go. Like, I don't want to pick where I get to go. Just pick for me and I'll go there. That is ideal to me. I wonder how that looks if I just leave that little trash. Okay, what do I do for this? So here's where the artistic comes in. I'm going to use this thing called Clone Stamp. And this is where you sample yourself. You don't use the software to sample it. So I took a little green over here. I'm going to put the little green over here. Take a little green over here. Put a little green over here. And I'm essentially creating an extension of this bush here. Follow the line of it. Paint it on if you want. Okay, I also want to extend whatever this blurry object is, and I want to come up here and grab some ocean. The extensions I'm creating. Extensions. Do you mean extending the bush? I don't know what the photography term is for extending the bush. Oh, this is weird. The tool that I'm using is the Clone Stamp tool in Photoshop. I don't know if there's an artistic. If you're talking about like Gestalt's laws of okay, so cool. Okay, I'm like I don't want to get into Gestalt's laws of continuation, which is important stuff to understand as a photographer, right? How the mind sees objects, right? Like even though we see that trash can right there in that pile of trash, we also in our brains see the continuation of that bush behind it. Whether or not we see it with our eyes, our brains know that that object continues behind those forward objects that we don't really pay attention to, which is often a detrimental characteristic to beginning photographers because they see objects like mountainscapes or I don't know, roads or something like that as whole objects, and their brain is like, cool, road. Their brain's like, cool, mountainscape, and they don't see the trash cans that are sitting there on the road, you know, or blocking the part of it, you know, or like a traffic cone sitting in front of your mountainscape, which is one that I did. I sat there for an hour doing long exposures of these rocks going up the mountains, and it was a cool picture. And there's a traffic cone approximately 10 feet in front of me that I did not see. I didn't see it until I pulled it up on my computer when I got home. I was there for an hour. I didn't see the traffic cone. Orange traffic cone. Did not see it. So I guess I went into it, but look up Gestalt laws if you're curious on what I was just talking about. Gestalt's laws of, I think it's Gestalt's laws of continuation. It's how optical illusions are created. It's very fascinating. But the tool that I use is Clone Stamp tool, and it should be the least used correction tool because it's very powerful, but it's very harsh, if you will. It should only be used when absolutely necessary because you're actually taking a part of the picture and you're copying it and putting it here, you know, and so you'll pick up on the patterns eventually, you know. So, but play with it for sure. You'll start to realize when it works at its best. So like this, I have to create actual like there's no software that can know what I want to do, so I just have to create it. And so when you have to create something, you go ahead and use the Clone Stamp tool. But otherwise, the other ones up here are, you got the Spot Healing Brush where you just paint over zits and they go away. You paint over, like if you have a grassy field, you paint over the dog and the dog just goes away. Like, it's pretty crazy. Okay, I am going to get out of this because my computer is doing something weird. So all I do is press Command S to save it. It's going to take its sweet time up here, and I cannot wait to close Photoshop. So hopefully my computer will run a little faster after that. Okay, Command Q to quit Photoshop, and here we are in Lightroom. It is trying to bring in that edit. Just automatically does it. I didn't touch anything. We're back in Lightroom, and my slow booty computer is trying to load it. And there we go. Oh yeah, there is a nice fat line right here. That's okay though. I can see the line up here too by the trees. That's okay. That was just a little demo. I'll do some demos in Lightroom about getting rid of pimples and stuff. I think I might have already done it on this photo. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see this pimple right here. I just got rid of it. It's no big deal. So let's figure out a way to show you how to do that. My poor baby computer. Alright, Okay, this is an unedited photo, so let's see here. Unedited. So my editing process is I have purchased some film emulation presets, and I go around and I kind of pick one that does some color correction. When you shoot in RAW, it's very unsaturated, it's very low in contrast, so you just want to boost that up a little bit. So I add this preset. It kind of helps me further my brand. By using these presets on all my photos, they all have this consistent look, right? So I added the preset. Obviously, it's not perfect now. So now is when I do the slider work, right? So it's a little dark, as you can see in a histogram. I like bright images. Okay, so let's pretend that's good. I'm gonna just add a little warmth to it. Add a little pink to her skin, just a little. Might be too much, but that's okay. I'm gonna come in here and show you how to get rid of spots, which is like the most common thing that you will do in Lightroom especially if you're a girl and you're insecure about acne or whatever. But up here, there are these tools, right? We already talked about the graduated filter. There's a radial filter, there's a brush filters, but then there's red eye correction right here. And then this is called spot removal. So you come up here, click on spot removal. You can choose which type, heal or clone. Clone is like the clone stamp tool. You get to select the spot and replace it with that. So should never be the first choice unless you absolutely know it's right. So I've selected heal. I can just use my center wheel and come over here, and I just you can click and paint. Lightroom is not happy with me right now. Click and paint, and then it'll sample a similar spot in color and in brightness, and it just comes in and it takes care of zits for you. It makes your skin nice and smooth. So there's the zit. Now the zit's gone. It's not even a zit. They're just like tiny red marks, which I probably wouldn't normally touch if it weren't for this video. Oftentimes in portraiture, you blur some of the pores in certain areas of the face. I don't like to do that. It has the tendency to look cheesy or fake, and I don't like that. Yeah, you don't have to wear makeup. I mean, dude, wearing makeup for a photo shoot makes my job so easy. So easy, but you don't have to. Like, I'm technically trained to go in and add makeup. Get rid of zits or whatever. Getting rid of zits, as you can see, is very easy. So I'm happy to do that. Okay, her eyes are dark. That's like brown. Oh, I gotta get rid of this guy too. Let me get rid of you. Bye. Nice. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, there you go. Slow computer. Okay, so now I'll come into the brush filter essentially, so you can create new settings and then brush them onto your picture. So I want to make the eyes brighter. I have a preset for that. Iris Enhance. Come in here nice and tight. And I'm just going to paint on this effect. My computer, looking at it, it cannot hang. Just going to brighten them up a little bit. Want them a little brighter. Hey, what are you doing out here? Zoom back in. Zoom back in, you silly. I'll let you sleep after this, computer, I promise. Alrighty. Now I've got a little light in the eyes. I don't think that's too much. Looks nice. You can see that she actually has eyes. That's nice. Now I would probably I want like it's tough when the face isn't the brightest part of the image. These flowers around her face are. Luckily, the flowers are dragging your eye into her face, which works too. But I'm gonna add an extra measure and then throw in a graduated filter. I just call it gradient with a lower brightness from the bottom left up to her face. Alright, so I just click, drag, and it just makes the bottom left of the picture a little darker, so it brings the eye up to the face. Right? Just these little subtle things. I don't know, should I get rid of her eye dimple? It's fine. I can't see because it's light. No whistling! I just love Snarky Puppy so much. Dude, I think I gotta get rid of the eye dimple. That's the problem, man. I want you to look like you. But it's distracting, though. So it's like, am I an artist? Or am I trying to stay true to how you actually look? Oh, you red. Why are you red? I can't swing. I can't swim. Oh boy. Okay. I think that looks nice. So now, this is what's awesome about editing. I did this picture. I got the colors to where I want them, or so. I can't really see them. I guess maybe I should make that orange pop. You know what? I'm going to make the orange pop a little bit since I've actually got two people watching. The one of the most powerful and overlooked features of Lightroom is the hue saturation illuminance sliders, where you have control over every individual color, the color of that individual color. Like say green, for example. There's a few greens down here. You can make the greens bluer. You can make them yellower. It's not really. It's kind of affecting them. You can kind of see. So the greens should, once it loads, it'll be a little bluer. Yeah, which is nice. It's very hip right now. But a lot of what we perceive, green to be is actually yellow. So I can take the yellow and drag it and make it red or whatever. This helps you really create and keep the colors in a designated palette by, like I want the specific shade of green to complement this specific shade of orange, which I could edit. You can actually grab this and click on a color you want and drag around, like, say, hey, now that orange is yellow. Unfortunately, a lot of skin tone is orange, so it's affecting your skin tone as well. But you want it to be complementary, so you can go ahead and tweak those colors. That's how people get different looks in their photos, in their movies, whatever. I'm gonna be right back. I need agua and Reese's peanut butter cups before it's 9 o'clock. So. I have to apologize to Reese or Justin. I have to apologize to Justin because these are not Reese's, these are Justin's. So Justin deserves all the credit for what I'm about to eat, this tasty, tasty meal. And of course, I have to drink my water out of my custom coffee mug because I'm like Jimmy Fallon and this is the Tonight Show. If the Tonight Show had 3 viewers and the content was absolutely terrible. Whatever. I'll swish around in my mouth. Good stuff. Okay. When editing, where do you think the bulk of your focus is? When editing, and it depends on what I'm editing, as you know. If I'm editing a session like this, the bulk of my focus is on consistency and accuracy. I spend a lot of time looking right here at this histogram to try to just make them look the most natural yet exciting as I possibly can, right? So I want her to look normal. I don't want her skin to be yellow. I don't want her skin to be purple. You know, I don't want her eyes to be discolored or too dark or too light. You know, there's artistic freedoms in that you can take to set a mood, but you know, I always want to bring it to its most normal state. You know, that's it. And if it's a picture of a person, I want that person to pop. I want that person to look good. So I'd say in order, my focus is, like, I guess, normalcy. I don't want anything to catch your eye that isn't the person, right? So if the person's skin was a certain color that wasn't what you actually see with your eyes, that would be weird, and you'd be like, what the heck? Even if it's a great picture, if their skin is like yellow, that's weird, okay? And then second, I spend a lot of time thinking about what will this individual find attractive about themselves, right? Or what will they find unattractive? You know, what are they, like, it doesn't matter if the photograph is perfect photographically. It's if the person paying you money likes the picture, and the only reason they wouldn't like the picture is if they think they look ugly, right? So if they think they look terrible, they're going to hate the picture, even if I love the picture, and I think they look great in the picture. So who knows? What do you think about this picture? What do you think she won't like? I don't know. And it's weird. I'm really bad at it. I see beauty too easily for a photographer. I need to be pickier about the beauty that I see. I don't remember what I was going to do. What was I going to do? I was going to mess with hue saturation for luminance, but I don't remember why. Her skin, it's good. It's good. Okay, so actually I'm going to bring up you can affect the, okay, so we're going back to hue saturation luminance. You can affect the brightness of any individual color too. So luminance is brightness. I can make the greens come out a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and do the yellows. You see how I changed the whole picture right there? So many yellows in the greens. I would look at this picture and say, I don't see any yellows. But they're all hidden in the green. A little pro tip right there. So, skin is mostly orange. I need to stand. Thank you, watch. No, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Okay. So, if her skin is too bright, I can pretty much just drag the orange down. This is not going to look good, right? So, that's just an example of what is being affected by this slider. Oh, that really made her eyes pop. Her eyes must have some orange in them. So, use this clicky thing, and I'm just going to drag it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so here we are. I've edited this picture. Now I hit Command-C for copy. Select which features I want to copy. I'm going to go to the back. Now I'm going to press Command-V for paste. And now I just edited 2 pictures. Now I got to go back in and repaint in where her eyes are and touch up her eyes and get rid of the eye dimple. But that's, like, I only have to edit once. This really helps with consistency as well. All right, Justin, let's see what you can do with these Justin's peanut butter cups. Just out of the fridge, too. Okay. How long am I going? Almost an hour. I've edited like 6 pictures in an hour. It's okay, maybe I should limit this to an hour and actually get some real editing done. So my question for you, either text me or post it in a message, but what is your biggest hang up in taking pictures? Like why does your camera stay in your bag? What is preventing you from getting out there and doing photography more? All right. And I've sat with that question a lot too. I go in phases of when my camera's always on me or when it's always at home. And my answer can go from people judging me. Like if I've got I wrote about it in a blog that I just read. I wrote a blog like a year and a half ago, and one of my friends was asking me a question. I was like, I wrote a post about that, so I sent them the post, and I was like, oh, like this is actually really good. It's probably the best blog post I ever wrote. But I don't want to be judged, having right now I've got a $5,000 webcam pointed at me. $4,000. I got a $4,000 webcam pointed at me, and I don't want to take that to the Beatbox Cafe in North Shore and have a billion people judging me taking pictures of my mac and cheese. Like you don't need a $5,000 camera to take pictures of mac and cheese, right? So I'm just like, okay, well I don't want to be judged. So I'm just gonna leave my camera at home. It's also scary to like take pictures that you're really excited about and get them home and they like just completely suck. Like that's terrifying. So very discouraging. So maybe I just won't take pictures. Like we're not, I can't hurt myself if I don't try, right? So I'm just curious as to what's keeping you. If it's understanding manual mode, it's very easy. Manual mode fundamentally is just 3 things that have, if that's a thing that you're afraid of. I know plenty of professional photographers that don't ever use manual mode. Like they will not. I don't know if they know how. Like they know essentially what it does, but you pay so much money for a camera to figure that crap out for you. So might as well use it, right? I only shoot in manual mode. It's not a snobby thing, it's a trust thing, which I understand is an issue, but I just don't trust my camera to get a perfect exposure. Also, if I take pictures that are too dark or too bright, when I get them home and I realize that, I don't want to have to blame something else. I want to be like, that's my fault, and only my fault. And I need to do better, because I can control myself. If I get pictures home every time I go out shooting that are too dark or too bright, that's just going to keep happening because it's in somebody else's hands. It's in the software on the camera's hands. Her face seems dark in this. I'm going to crop it in too. No harm in cropping, guys. Crop all day. Stop whistling. Oh, did I do that? What is this? I want it darker. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, hey. Sorry, team. Preconceived ideas, yeah. I mean, that's with anything. Honestly, that is with any hobby, anything. You know, like I've been playing bass guitar for 12 years. Yeah, this is a bad analogy, but I get it with photography. Everyone's a photographer. I actually sent an email today. I volunteered to shoot to cover an event for a nonprofit in town. An event that I have covered in the past by myself, but a local high school student reached out to them asking if she could, volunteer to photograph this upcoming event. I'm their like go-to photographer, so I heard about the event and I was like, cool, I'll be there. I didn't think about it. I just kind of invited myself, and they were like, oh, we have a high school student who wants to photograph it. I'm like, great. Like, that's awesome. They should totally do that. It's going to be a great experience for them. I don't believe ego has any place in photography. And that's taken me a long time to realize, that if you have an ego, you are actually weaker than me. And I'm so distracted right now. Yeah. That confidence can be deterring to someone without as much confidence, but you have to spin it the other way. You have to spin it whatever they're perceiving of you, whether it's as a photographer or as anything. They're either right or wrong, and it doesn't matter. You just gotta get out there and take pictures. They're probably gonna suck, and that's fine. They're only gonna get better. As with anything in life. So I sent this email to this photographer, this high school photographer. I basically just said like, hey, I've done this session before, so I know what to expect. If you have any questions or need any help or whatever like that. And then I said, I want you to be in charge, and I want to be there to assist you if you're comfortable with that. And I told her that I know that other photographers can get egotistical or competitive or jealous or very superficial. Photographers are often just like, they don't even realize it. They're just like I'm better than you, whatever. And I told her, I'm like, that's a common thing. And if I was in high school and I was working alongside a professional photographer, I would be terrified. So I want to make sure that she's comfortable. I think it's a she, yeah. She's comfortable telling me what to do or asking me for advice or whatever. I went on a photo, they have like Meetup, that app Meetup. I went on a Meetup thing about a year ago. It was like a photo hike or something like that, and it was led by a professional photographer, which is great. That's awesome, and there's a lot to learn from professional photographers. I'm still looking for one that I vibe with on a personality basis, but she did not hesitate to let us know that she was a professional photographer. And that hike specifically, I remember I brought my cheap camera, my unimpressive, middle of the line camera, because I didn't want to be seen as egotistical with my $5,000 Canon 5D Mark IV. And I brought that lens, or my Fujifilm X-T20 for sale with two lenses for $800. It's camera everyone can have, because I didn't want to feel that way. It's also a fun challenge to shoot with a lesser camera, you rely more on your own skills. So I was like, cool, cool, cool. But yeah, she was telling us all about all the lenses that she has because she's a professional. Like, I have to do this because I'm a professional. And she offered us no advice. I didn't learn a damn thing from that photo hike, other than that she's a professional photographer, which is okay, cool. You keep saying that. That's fine. I'm sure your pictures are beautiful, but goodness gracious, just be a freaking human being. That's all. So other people are always going to judge you. You just can't care. They're just going to hold you back. And your ability to frame the shot, God, I don't know how to frame a single shot. That is my biggest fear. I am so bad at that, seeing artistically. Just do a little reading about composition, and different photographers have different beliefs on what the most important element of composition is. The most common one, and that I find holds true, is light, contrast, light. You can frame a shot perfectly as for the elements that are in the picture, the physical elements. But if the light is at 12 high and the face is getting shadows cast all across it and whatever, it's going to be a terrible picture. On the flip side, you could have amazing light, but frame a picture terribly, and it's going to be a terrible picture. So I'm weak, and I tend to gravitate towards close-up shots because there's less elements you have to work with, and only, so this shot, for example, is just her and some flowers, right? And the flowers are framing her head. And it's just her. Like, how can I mess up just her? I can't. You know what I mean? So, like, let's fast forward to, okay, you're done. Let's fast forward to this shot. I don't know. Don't do that. Fast forward to this. And, like, what's going on? I don't know. There's so much crap. There's a line right down the middle. There's some scattered palm trees up in the left. This is unedited too, like, so I can work with it, but like I would probably have wanted her head up a little higher above the tree line, so it was in the clouds, because right now it just kind of blends in with the trees. And I didn't do that because I panic when it comes to wide shots. I don't understand them. But I'm still gonna give her this photo because it shows the beach that she loves. And I mean, I'm probably going to crop in like this so that she's right on the line. Oh, I don't like it. It's so bad. Oh, I don't want to cut off at her knees either. I'm going to just take out all those palm trees. There we go. That's a little better. Holy crap. That's real bad. Okay. Let's throw some settings on there. Just kidding. Man, it's been fun hanging out with y'all. Feel free to depart at any time. I didn't share this online or anything like that, so I am not in any way hurt by the few people that showed up. It's been great chatting with you. Thank you for your participation. I am an open book. I love being told that I'm wrong. I love it because it's so rare to find someone who will tell you that you're wrong, that if you do find someone that will tell you when you're wrong, you need to hold on to them forever. Because it is rare, and it's what you need to hear, otherwise you become complacent and start to get ideas of grandeur. So if you see something that you disagree with, tell me. If you hear something you disagree with, tell me. It's great. I love it. But that being said, I'm going to go. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. So I should probably actually spend the next hour finishing this session instead of trying to split my attention between editing and talking and this beautiful setup I created, which I really like. Here, check this out if you're still watching. Let's go back to just my face. What's up? I can do that. Isn't that crazy? I can go just my face. I can go just editing. I can go just Lightroom, or anything I want to bring up here. Like here's my, here's what I'm looking at. Comments, all of my viewers. All right, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, I could bring anything up. The next time I go live, I'm going to talk about budget-friendly cameras, and I'm going to talk about some very simple ways to improve your photography. Basically just budget-friendly photography, right? So what cameras you should get for what situations and what are relevant. And I have done shoots in the past with my $800 camera. I did a wedding. One of the wedding participants is here. Some of my favorite shots were with this $800 camera. And I've had my friend join me on some photo shoots where he had a Sony a6000, which is like $300, maybe $350 is what he spent on it. And I will bring those pictures and show them side by side, and I bet that no one would be able to tell the Sony a6000, a $300 camera versus my Canon 5D Mark IV with lens is almost $5,000. And I'm very willing to bet that no one will be able to tell the difference. So that will be next time. Oh, y'all aren't even looking at me. What did I leave it on? There we go. That will be, I'm like using all my hands and talking. That will be next time that I go live stream. I have a hockey game tomorrow that I'm going to be watching, and then a shoot on Wednesday. And then I'll probably hop on maybe Thursday or Friday during the day. Probably Friday during the day. Seems about right. I have some work I have to do. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm pumped on these blue lights. It's a nice frame here. You can see some bokeh. Actually, I can show you. Oh, ooh, come here, buddy. Come here, little camera. I got some fancy string lights up here. Ooh, I got a basic bitch foam blanket. Oof. See that? Oh yeah. What else we got? Some plants. Here's what I'm looking at. Laptop, bright ass light, salt lamp, plants. Justin. Calamic photography mug. Oh yeah. That's me. Okay. So I'm for real gonna go. Oh, did it disconnect? It quit on me. I'm gonna for real go now, especially since my camera just disconnected. So bye bye. TTYL.